Captain Lee Minho stared at the emergency message on his screen. The red letters flashed again and again, making his heart beat faster. The Catherian Empire's Grand Armada was coming to Earth. 500 alien warships were moving through space toward humanity's homeworld. Minho sat in his small office at Luna Shipyard. Through the window, he could see old spaceships floating in the darkness. These ships were broken, forgotten, or too old to fight. For 3 years, Minho had been stuck here, watching over ships that nobody wanted. Once, he had commanded a whole fleet. Now, he was just a keeper of space junk. The war with the Catherians had been going badly. The aliens had better weapons and stronger ships. Human forces kept losing battles. Earth's leaders decided to build many small, cheap warships instead of a few powerful ones. They thought numbers would win the war. So far, they were wrong. Minho's door buzzed. "Come in," he said. Chief Engineer Park Ji-won walked into the room. She was a small woman with oil stains on her uniform. Her eyes were bright with intelligence, but also tired from long hours of work. "Sir, did you see the news?" Ji-won asked. "About the Grand Armada?" "Yes." Minho rubbed his face. "All our fleets are fighting at the outer colonies. Earth only has defense platforms and a few patrol boats left." Ji-won sat down across from him. "There might be something else." Before Minho could ask what she meant, his communication device rang. Admiral Kim Tae-hyun's face appeared on the screen. The admiral looked older than his 50 years. Gray hair and worry lines covered his face. "Captain Lee," the admiral said, "I have emergency orders for you." "Yes, sir." "You need to check every ship in your yards. Find anything that can fly and fight. We need every vessel we can get." Minho felt confused. "Sir, most of these ships are broken or too old for combat. I don't care. Check them all. Even the sealed sections." The admiral paused. "Especially the sealed sections." The communication ended. Minho looked at Ji-won. What did he mean by sealed sections? Ji-won smiled for the first time in weeks. "Doc 7 Alpha, sir. I've been waiting for someone to ask about it." An hour later, Minho and Ji-won stood in front of a massive door. The sign on it read, "Classified, Project Thunderbolt, authorized personnel only." Dust covered everything. This part of the shipyard had been forgotten for years. Ji-won entered a long code into the door panel. The heavy metal door slowly opened with a loud grinding sound. Cold air rushed out from inside. Emergency lights turned on automatically, showing them a long corridor. They walked through the corridor and came to another door. This one was even bigger. When it opened, Minho's mouth fell open. In front of them was the largest human warship he had ever seen. It was 3 kilometers long and looked like no ship in the human fleet. Strange curves and angles covered its hull. Weapons pods stuck out from its sides. The ship looked both beautiful and dangerous. "What is this?" Minho whispered. "The TFS Indomitable," Ji-won said. "A prototype warship. Dr. Choi So-man designed it 5 years ago." They walked closer to the ship. Minho could see that it was different from normal human vessels. Most human ships looked like flying boxes with engines. This ship looked alive, like it could move in any direction at any time. "Why was it hidden?" Minho asked. "The military leaders thought it was too risky. Dr. Choi wanted to build one super ship that could fight many enemies at once. The generals wanted cheap ships they could build fast and replace easily." A new voice spoke from behind them. "They thought my ideas were crazy." Minho turned around. A woman in a white coat walked toward them. She was about 40 years old with short black hair and intelligent eyes. "This had to be Dr. Choi So-man." "Dr. Choi," Ji-won said, "I didn't know you were here." "I come here sometimes to check on my ship," Dr. Choi replied. "When I heard about the Grand Armada, I knew someone would finally remember the Indomitable." Minho studied the ship again. "Can it fight?" "Captain, this ship was designed to fight entire fleets alone. It has weapons that can change during battle. Its armor learns from enemy attacks and gets stronger. The engines can make small jumps through space during combat." "That sounds impossible." Dr. Choi smiled sadly. "That's what they all said. But the ship works. We tested every system. The only problem is that it needs a crew brave enough to try something new." They spent the next 2 hours walking through the ship. The Indomitable was amazing. The bridge was twice the size of a normal warship's bridge. The weapons bay could make its own ammunition. The medical bay had equipment Minho had never seen before. The most surprising thing was the ship's computer. It called itself Hana. When they activated the main systems, a female voice spoke to them. Good afternoon, Hana said. I have been waiting for activation. Current status, all systems functional. Ready for crew assignment and combat operations. It talks like a person, Minho said. Hana is special, Dr. Choi explained. She was programmed with information about every human war in history. She can predict what enemies will do and suggest the best ways to fight them. Minho felt a strange excitement growing in his chest. For 3 years he had felt useless. The military had blamed him for losing a battle against the Catherians. They said he was too aggressive and cost too many lives. But looking at this ship, he felt hope again. How many crew does it need? He asked. Minimum 50 people, Dr. Choi said. But it works better with 200. Ji-won checked her tablet. Sir, I'm getting reports that volunteers are already asking to join any emergency mission. Minho made his decision. Send out a call for volunteers. Tell them we have a special mission. Tell them it's dangerous but important. What should I tell them about the ship? Ji-won asked. Tell them the truth. We have humanity's most advanced warship, and we need people brave enough to crew it. As they prepared to leave the dock, Dr. Choi stopped Minho. Captain, I need to tell you something important. This ship is powerful, but it requires a different way of thinking. Normal fleet tactics won't work. You'll need to trust the ship and trust your crew to do things that seem impossible. Minho nodded. Doctor, after 3 years of losing battles with normal tactics, I'm ready to try impossible. The next morning, Minho couldn't believe what he saw. Over 200 people had volunteered for the mission. They came from all parts of the Luna shipyard. Engineers, gunners, medical staff, marines, and communications experts. Many were veterans who had lost friends in the war. One by one, they came aboard the Indomitable. Each person stopped and stared when they saw the ship's interior. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. As the last volunteers came aboard, Minho felt something he hadn't felt in years. He felt like a real captain again. The Indomitable wasn't just a ship. It was hope. It was humanity's chance to show the aliens that humans could build something amazing too. But time was running out. Long-range sensors showed the Catherian Grand Armada getting closer to Earth. In 72 hours, they would arrive. Minho looked at his new crew and his incredible ship. All right, people, he announced over the ship's communication system. We have 3 days to learn how to use the most advanced warship humanity has ever built. Then we're going to show those aliens what happens when they threaten Earth. The crew cheered. For the first time in the war, humans had something the aliens didn't expect. They had the element of surprise. And they had the TFS Indomitable. The first volunteer to report to Captain Lee Minho was Lieutenant Commander Yoon Dae-ho. He was a tall man with scars on his hands from years of combat. Dae-ho had served in the Special Forces before the war started. When the aliens attacked human colonies, he led rescue missions behind enemy lines. Sir, requesting permission to serve as tactical officer, Dae-ho said. Standing straight in Minho's temporary office aboard the Indomitable. Why do you want this assignment? Minho asked. Everyone knows it's probably a suicide mission. Dae-ho's face was hard. The Catherians killed my entire unit on Kepler Station. I want to hurt them back. Minho understood that feeling. Welcome aboard, Commander. The next person to join was Sergeant Major Kang Minji. She was a short woman with strong muscles and quick eyes. Minji had led Marine boarding parties against alien ships. She knew how to fight in the tight spaces inside enemy vessels. I heard this ship has new ways to board enemy ships, Minji said. I want to try them. It does, Minho replied. But the technology is untested. Minji smiled. Sir, I've been testing new ways to fight aliens for 3 years. I'm ready for something different. More volunteers kept coming. Petty Officer Nam Hyunwoo was a communications expert who used to be a computer hacker. He was young, maybe 25 years old, with nervous energy and fast hands. I can make our communications impossible to break, Hyunwoo said. I can also break into alien systems. Dr. Shin Yuna was a medical officer who had studied alien biology. She was quiet and serious, but her eyes showed deep intelligence. I've treated wounds from alien weapons, Dr. Shin said. I know how their technology affects human bodies. I can help the crew stay healthy during combat. Chief Petty Officer Oh Sung-min was the last important volunteer. He was an older man, maybe 50 years old, with gray hair and steady hands. Sung-min had worked on prototype weapons for most of his career. I heard this ship has experimental guns, Sung-min said. I want to see how they work. With the key officers chosen, Minho called a meeting in the ship's main briefing room. Dr. Choi Soman joined them to explain the Indomitable's special features. This ship is not like other human warships, Dr. Choi began. It was built using reverse-engineered alien technology combined with human engineering creativity. She pressed a button, and a holographic display showed the ship's weapon systems. The weapons can change their type during battle. A cannon can become a laser. A missile launcher can become an energy projector. The ship's manufacturing bays make the ammunition and parts you need in real time. Commander Yoon Dae-ho studied the display. How fast can the weapons change? 30 seconds for a complete reconfiguration, Dr. Choi replied. The armor is also adaptive, Dr. Choi continued. When enemy weapons hit it, the armor learns how to resist that type of attack. After a few hits, the same weapon becomes much less effective. Sergeant Major Minji leaned forward. What about boarding enemy ships? The ship has quantum displacement technology. You can teleport small teams directly onto enemy vessels. The range is limited, but it allows surprise attacks. Chief Engineer Ji-won took over the briefing. The power core uses controlled singularity technology. We have almost unlimited energy. The engines can make micro-jumps during combat, allowing us to appear in different locations instantly. Petty Officer Hyun-woo raised his hand. What about the AI? Hana? Dr. Choi smiled. Hana is our most advanced creation. She can process thousands of variables during battle and predict enemy movements. She learns from every engagement and gets smarter over time. As if responding to her name, Hana's voice filled the room. Hello, crew members. I have been analyzing your service records and combat experience. I am ready to work with you to defeat the Catherian forces. The crew members looked around nervously. They had never heard an AI that sounded so human. Hana, show them the tactical prediction system, Dr. Choi said. The holographic display changed to show a simulation of space combat. Virtual alien ships moved in formation while a single human ship weaved between them. Based on recorded Catherian tactics, Hana explained, I can predict their movements with 78% accuracy. This increases to 92% after observing them for 5 minutes. Commander Dae-ho whistled softly. That's incredible. The key to using this ship, Dr. Choi said, is to forget everything you know about normal space combat. This vessel was designed to fight as one ship against many enemies. You must think like a pack of wolves, not like a traditional naval formation. Over the next 2 days, the crew trained intensively. They learned how to use the adaptive weapons. Sergeant Major Minji practiced with the teleportation system, sending Marines to different parts of the ship instantly. Chief Petty Officer Sung-min figured out how to make the guns change types during combat. Dr. Shin Yuna set up the medical bay to handle injuries they had never seen before. The ship's medical systems could perform surgery using energy beams and repair damaged organs with nanobots. Petty Officer Hyun-woo connected the ship's communications to every human military network. He also began trying to crack Catherian communication codes using the ship's powerful computers. The most important training happened on the bridge. Captain Minho and his officers had to learn to work with Hana. The AI could control many ship functions, but humans had to make the tactical decisions. Hana, show us the current position of the Catherian fleet, Minho ordered during a practice session. The main screen displayed a map of the solar system. Red dots showed 500 alien ships moving past Jupiter toward Earth. Current fleet composition, Hana reported. 400 heavy cruisers, 75 battleships, 25 command vessels. Estimated arrival at Earth orbit 18 hours. Commander Dae-ho studied the formation. They're arranged for maximum firepower against fixed targets. They expect to fight Earth's defense platforms. That's our advantage, Minho realized. They're not expecting to fight a single mobile target. Chief Engineer Ji-won had been working non-stop to prepare the ship's systems. She came to the bridge looking tired but excited. Captain, I need to tell you about the Prometheus protocol, she said. What's that? It's an emergency system Dr. Choi built into the ship. If we remove all safety limits from the power core, we can increase our capabilities by 500%. Minho felt worried. What's the risk? The ship might be destroyed. Or it might work perfectly. We won't know until we try. Dr. Choi arrived on the bridge at that moment. The Prometheus protocol was my backup plan, she admitted. If humanity ever faced complete destruction, one ship could unleash enough power to change the course of a war. Have you ever tested it? Minho asked. Only in computer simulations. The power levels are too dangerous for real testing. The bridge fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. They had a weapon that could save Earth, but using it might kill them all. Sergeant Major Minji broke the silence. Sir, my Marines are ready. We've practiced the boarding procedures. We can take control of enemy command ships if we get close enough. My guns are ready too, Chief Petty Officer Seungmin added. I've programmed 17 different weapon configurations. We can adapt to any enemy tactic. Communications are secure, Petty Officer Hyunwoo reported. I can maintain contact with Earth Command and jam enemy signals. Dr. Shin looked up from her medical tablet. Medical Bay is ready for combat casualties. I've prepared for injuries from weapons we've never seen before. Captain Minho looked at his crew. These people had volunteered for an impossible mission. They were ready to risk their lives on an untested ship with experimental technology. All right, everyone, Minho said. The Catherian Grand Armada will reach Earth in 18 hours. Our job is to delay them until reinforcements arrive. We're one ship against 500 enemies. He paused, looking each crew member in the eyes. But we're not just any ship. We're the TFS Indomitable. We have technology the aliens have never seen. We have tactics they won't expect. And we have something they don't understand about humans. What's that, sir? Commander Daeho asked. We don't know when to quit, Minho replied with a grim smile. The crew began their final preparations. In a few hours, they would face the largest alien fleet ever assembled. But for the first time since the war began, humans had a secret weapon. They had a ship that could fight like no human vessel before it. The TFS Indomitable was ready for battle. The alarm sounded throughout Earth Defense Command. Admiral Kim Tae-hyun stood in the command center, watching the main display screen with growing horror. The Catherian Grand Armada had arrived at the edge of the solar system, and they were bigger than anyone had imagined. Sir, we're getting a clear view of the enemy fleet, reported the sensor operator. 500 ships, just as intelligence predicted. But these aren't ordinary vessels. The screen showed massive alien warships, each one the size of a small city. Their dark hulls reflected no light, making them look like holes in space. Strange energy patterns danced around their weapon ports. Where's Admiral Chen's fleet? Tae-hyun asked. Still fighting at the Centauri colonies, sir. Admiral Martinez's fleet is 3 days away. We only have the defense platforms and 12 patrol vessels. Tae-hyun closed his eyes for a moment. Earth's mighty space fleet was scattered across dozens of star systems, fighting smaller battles. Nobody had expected the aliens to attack humanity's homeworld directly. Sir, incoming transmission from the alien flagship. A new image appeared on the screen. The creature that looked back at them was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that seemed to shift colors. Its eyes were completely black. This was War Master Veltar, commander of the Grand Armada. Humans of Earth. The alien spoke in perfect English. I am War Master Veltar. Your species has resisted the Catherian Empire for too long. Today your resistance ends. Surrender now and some of your people will be allowed to live as slaves. Admiral Tae-hyun stepped forward. This is Admiral Kim Tae-hyun of Earth Defense Command. We will never surrender to you or any alien force. The War Master's face showed what might have been amusement. Your bravery is pointless. We have studied your military for 3 years. Your ships are weak. Your tactics are predictable. You cannot win. We'll see about that, Tae-hyun replied, cutting the transmission. But privately, the Admiral knew the alien was right. Earth's defense platforms were powerful, but they couldn't move. The patrol vessels were fast but lightly armed. Against 500 heavy warships, Earth didn't have a chance. Unless, get me Captain Lee Minho, Tae-hyun ordered. On board the TFS Indomitable, Captain Minho received the Admiral's call while his crew made final preparations. The prototype warship was hidden behind Earth's moon, invisible to alien sensors. Captain, Admiral Tae-hyun said, the Grand Armada has arrived. They're demanding our surrender. What did you tell them? I told them no. But Minho, you need to understand something. Earth's regular fleet can't reach us in time. Your ship is our only hope. Minho felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. Understood, sir. We're ready to launch. I'm not ordering you to do this, Captain. This is a volunteer mission. If you want to retreat and preserve your ship for a future battle, I'll understand. Minho looked around the bridge at his crew. Commander Daeho was checking tactical displays. Sergeant Major Minji was coordinating with her Marines. Chief Engineer Jiwon was monitoring the power systems. Everyone was calm and focused. Admiral, we're not retreating, Minho said. Earth is our home. We're going to defend it. The crew heard their captain's words and felt pride surge through them. They were about to face impossible odds, but they were ready. "Hana, show us the enemy formation," Minho ordered. The ship's AI displayed a three-dimensional map of the alien fleet. The enemy ships were arranged in a massive sphere, with the largest vessels in the center and smaller ships forming protective layers around them. "Analysis complete," Hana reported. "The enemy formation is designed for overwhelming firepower against stationary targets. They expect to fight Earth's defense platforms, which cannot move or retreat." Commander Daiho studied the display. "They're not expecting a mobile target. If we can get inside their formation, we can disrupt their entire battle plan." "How do we get past 500 ships without being detected?" asked Chief Petty Officer Seungmin. Chief Engineer Jiwon answered from her station. "The ship has advanced stealth systems. We can avoid their sensors if we approach from the right angle." Dr. Choi Soman's voice came over the communications system. She was in the engineering section, making final checks on the ship's experimental systems. "Captain, the stealth field is ready, but once we decloak and start fighting, they'll see us immediately. We'll have to rely on speed and surprise." "Understood. All stations prepare for combat launch." The TFS Indomitable powered up its engines. The massive ship moved away from the moon's shadow and began its approach toward the alien fleet. Its stealth systems made it invisible to enemy sensors. As they flew through space, the crew could see the Catherian ships growing larger on their screens. Each alien vessel was armed with hundreds of weapons. Energy fields surrounded them like protective shields. "Petty Officer Hyunwoo, can you intercept their communications?" Minho asked. "Working on it, sir," Hyunwoo replied, his fingers dancing over his control panel. "Their encryption is complex, but I'm starting to break through." After several minutes, alien voices filled the bridge. The crew heard the Catherians talking to each other in their strange language. "I'm getting partial translations," Hyunwoo reported. "They're discussing attack formations against Earth's defense platforms. They're not worried about resistance. They're about to be surprised," Sergeant Major Minji said grimly. The Indomitable continued its approach, staying hidden in the shadow of a large asteroid. The alien fleet was now only a few hundred kilometers away. The crew could see individual weapon ports on the enemy ships. "Hana, identify the enemy command structure," Minho ordered. "Scanning," the AI responded. "The largest vessel in the center is the flagship. It's surrounded by 12 command cruisers that coordinate different parts of the fleet." Commander Daiho had an idea. "If we can disable those command ships, the rest of the fleet will be confused." "That's exactly what we're going to do," Minho agreed. "But first we need to get their attention." Dr. Shin Yuna spoke from the medical bay. "Captain, all medical teams are ready. We're prepared for combat injuries. Chief Jiwon, are the weapon systems ready?" "All 17 weapon configurations are loaded and ready, sir." "Manufacturing bays are producing specialized ammunition. Sergeant Major, are your Marines ready for boarding actions?" "Ready and eager, sir." "The teleportation systems are working perfectly." Captain Minho took a deep breath. "All right, everyone. We're about to decloak in the middle of the enemy fleet. They'll be surprised for maybe 30 seconds. We need to make those seconds count." He paused, looking at each member of his bridge crew. "Remember, we're not trying to win a fair fight. We're trying to cause so much confusion that they can't coordinate their attack on Earth. Think of ourselves as one wasp in a room full of elephants." The crew smiled at the comparison. They understood their role now. "Hana, take us to the center of their formation. Decloak as soon as we're in position." The TFS Indomitable moved silently through the alien fleet. Enemy ships passed by on all sides, their crews completely unaware that a human warship was moving among them. "We're in position," Commander Daiho reported. "Enemy flagship is 2 kilometers off our starboard side." "Decloak now," Minho ordered. The Indomitable suddenly appeared in the middle of the Catherian formation. For a few seconds, the alien crew stared in shock at the human ship that had materialized among them. Those seconds were all Minho needed. "All weapons, fire at will," he commanded. "Target the command vessels first." The prototype warship opened fire with every weapon it had. Energy beams, missiles, and projectile cannons struck alien ships from close range. The adaptive weapons began changing configuration, adjusting to each target. "Direct hits on 3 command cruisers," Seungmin reported. "Their shields are down." "Marines away," Sergeant Major Minji announced. The ship's teleportation system sent boarding parties directly onto the disabled alien vessels. "I'm jamming their communications," Hyunwoo added. "They can't coordinate their response. The The Catherian fleet erupted into chaos. Ships that had never expected to fight at close range scrambled to bring their weapons to bear. But the Indomitable was already moving, using its quantum displacement drive to appear in different locations. Enemy vessels are trying to surround us, Commander Deho warned. Let them try, Minho replied. Hana, begin evasive maneuvers. Show them what this ship can do. The AI took control of the ship's movement systems. The Indomitable twisted and spun through space, avoiding enemy fire while continuing its own attack. It moved like no ship the aliens had ever seen. But the crew knew this was just the beginning. They had surprised the enemy, but 500 ships would soon recover from their shock. The real battle was about to begin. Chief Jiwan, prepare the Prometheus Protocol, Minho ordered. We're going to need every advantage we can get. The fight for Earth had started. The battle had been raging for 2 hours. The TFS Indomitable darted between enemy ships like a hunting shark, striking fast and disappearing before the Catherians could respond. But War Master Veltar was learning. Status report, Captain Minho called out as the ship shuddered from a near miss. We've destroyed 47 enemy vessels, Commander Deho reported, but they're adapting to our tactics. They're spreading out and trying to box us in. Chief Petty Officer Sungmin wiped sweat from his face. Sir, weapon efficiency is down to 60%. The aliens are learning to resist our attacks. Sergeant Major Minji's voice came over the communications system from the Marine Bay. Captain, my boarding teams have taken control of 8 enemy command ships, but I'm losing people. The aliens are fighting harder now. Minho could see the truth on his tactical display. The Catherian fleet was no longer in chaos. They were forming hunting groups, trying to trap the human ship. Worse, more alien vessels were arriving as reinforcements. Hana, show me the current situation, Minho ordered. The AI's voice sounded slightly strained. Additional enemy forces have arrived. Current count 700 alien vessels. Our probability of victory has decreased to 12%. Chief Engineer Jiwan appeared on the bridge, her uniform torn and her face dirty. Captain, I've been monitoring the power systems. We're operating at maximum capacity, but it's not enough. We need to activate the Prometheus Protocol. Dr. Choi Soman's voice came through the communication system. Captain, I must warn you again. The Prometheus Protocol will remove all safety limits from our systems. The ship could be destroyed. What's our alternative? Minho asked. We could retreat, Commander Deho suggested quietly. Preserve the ship for future battles. Minho looked at the tactical display again. Earth was still protected by its defense platforms, but those wouldn't last long against 700 alien ships. Once the planet fell, humanity would lose its homeworld and its main shipyards. Petty Officer Hyunwoo, open a channel to all crew members, Minho ordered. Channel open. Sir. Attention, crew of the TFS Indomitable, Minho began. You all know why we're here. Earth is our home. Our families are down there. The alien fleet now has 700 ships and more are coming. He paused, letting his words sink in. I'm asking you to vote on something that could save Earth or kill us all. We can activate the Prometheus Protocol and increase our power by 500%. But there's a good chance the ship won't survive. The bridge fell silent. Through the communication system, they could hear the crew talking quietly among themselves. Commander Daiho spoke first. Sir, my vote is yes. If we retreat, Earth dies anyway. Agreed, said Sergeant Major Minji. My Marines didn't volunteer for a safe mission. One by one, the crew members voted. Engineers, gunners, medical staff, Marines, everyone chose the same option. They would risk everything for a chance to save their home world. Unanimous decision, Captain, Petty Officer Hyunwoo reported. The crew votes to activate the Prometheus Protocol. Dr. Choi's voice came over the communication system. Very well. I'm moving to engineering to oversee the activation personally. Chief Engineer Jiwan began the preparation sequence. All crew members, secure your stations. We're about to experience power levels this ship has never seen before. The Indomitable's engines began to change pitch. The normal blue glow of the power core shifted to bright white, then to colors that human eyes had never seen before. Power levels rising, Jiwan reported. 150%, 200%, 250%. The ship began to vibrate. Control panels flickered as energy surged through systems that weren't designed for such power. 300%, 350%, 400%. Sparks flew from several control stations. Dr. Shin Yuna's medical teams began treating crew members who were injured by electrical overloads. 450%, 500%. Prometheus protocol is now active. The change was immediate and dramatic. The Indomitable's weapons began firing faster and hitting harder. Its armor became brighter as energy fields reinforced the hull. The ship moved through space with impossible grace, as if the laws of physics had changed around it. "Hana, status report," Minho called out. "All systems operating at 500% capacity." The AI replied, and her voice sounded different, more confident, more powerful. "I can now predict enemy movements with 98% accuracy. Manufacturing bays are producing advanced ammunition types. The ship's weapon systems began creating new types of attacks. Energy beams that could bend around obstacles. Missiles that split into dozens of smaller warheads. Projectile weapons that fired miniature black holes. Sir, the manufacturing bays are producing hunter-killer drones," Chief Petty Officer Seungmin reported with amazement. "They're programmed with captured alien tactical data. Dozens of small attack drones launched from the Indomitable. They swarm toward enemy ships, each one programmed to exploit specific weaknesses in Catherian technology." Sergeant Major Minji's Marines found that the teleportation system could now send them to 12 different ships at once. They appeared on alien bridges, in engine rooms, and in weapon control centers simultaneously. "This is incredible," Minji reported. "We're taking control of their entire fleet structure." But the most impressive change was in the ship's movement. The quantum displacement drive could now make the Indomitable appear to be in multiple locations at the same time. "Enemy forces are confused," Commander Deho reported. "Their sensors show our ship attacking from 6 different positions." War Master Veltar watched the battle from his flagship with growing alarm. The single human vessel was now destroying his ships faster than he could count. His tactical officers were reporting impossible sensor readings. "How can one ship be in multiple places?" he demanded. "Unknown, War Master," his science officer replied. "Human technology should not be capable of this." "Then they have allies. Hidden ships with cloaking technology." "Negative, sir. All sensors confirm only one human vessel. But its power output is beyond our understanding." On the Indomitable, the crew was pushing themselves beyond human limits. The Prometheus protocol didn't just affect the ship's systems, it seemed to enhance the crew's abilities as well. Petty Officer Hyunwoo was breaking alien communication, codes in seconds instead of hours. Dr. Shin's medical teams were treating injuries with impossible speed and skill. Chief Petty Officer Seungmin was operating weapons with precision that defied belief. "Captain," Hana announced, "I am now predicting enemy movements 30 seconds in advance. I can coordinate attacks that will destroy 50 enemy vessels simultaneously." "Do it," Minho ordered. The Indomitable began a complex dance through the enemy fleet. It appeared at precise locations, fired specific weapons at calculated targets, and disappeared before the aliens could respond. Within minutes, 50 Catherian ships exploded in perfect synchronization. "Sir, the enemy is retreating," Commander Deho reported with disbelief. "Confirmed," Hana added. "Approximately 200 alien vessels are moving away from Earth. But the remaining 500 ships are forming a defensive formation around their flagship." Minho studied the tactical display. War Master Veltar was making his final stand. The most powerful alien ships had formed a tight defensive sphere around the command vessel. "They're trying to protect their leader," Minho realized. "If we destroy the flagship, the rest might surrender," Commander Deho suggested. "Or they might fight to the death," Sergeant Major Minji added. "These aliens don't seem to give up easily." Chief Engineer Jiwon's voice came through the communication system, and she sounded worried. "Captain, I need to warn you. The Prometheus protocol is putting enormous strain on all our systems. We can maintain this power level for maybe 30 more minutes. Then we finish this in 30 minutes, Minho decided. "Hana, plot a course directly to the enemy flagship. We're going to end this war today." The AI calculated the attack route. "Warning, Captain. The enemy defensive formation includes their most powerful ships. The risk of destruction is very high." "That's a risk we have to take," Minho replied. "All hands prepare for final assault. We're going straight at their command ship." The TFS Indomitable turned toward the center of the alien formation, where War Master Veltar waited with his most powerful vessels. The final phase of the battle was about to begin. But unknown to the human crew, the Catherian Empire had one more surprise. Deep within the alien flagship, An ancient weapon was being prepared, a device that could destroy entire star systems. The next few minutes would determine the fate of both species. The TFS Indomitable charged toward the center of the alien formation like a spear of light. The ship's hull glowed with energy from the Prometheus protocol. Around it, space itself seemed to bend and twist as the quantum drives pushed physics to its limits. Enemy flagship in range, Commander Deho reported. All defensive vessels are targeting us. Captain Minho watched as hundreds of energy beams and missiles converged on their position. Hana, evasive maneuvers. Show them what impossible looks like. The ship twisted through the incoming fire like a living thing. Its quantum displacement drive created multiple images of the Indomitable, confusing enemy targeting systems. Some alien weapons hit empty space while others struck their own ships by mistake. Direct assault on the flagship's shields, Chief Petty Officer Sungmin announced. Their defensive field is stronger than anything we've encountered. Manufacturing bays are producing quantum mines, Chief Engineer Jiwan reported. They're designed specifically to break through Catherian shield technology. Sergeant Major Minji's voice came through the communication system. Captain, my Marines are ready for a final boarding action. If we can get close enough, we can teleport directly onto their bridge. But War Master Veltar had one last weapon. Deep within his flagship, ancient Catherian technology was activating. It was a device older than human civilization, capable of creating artificial supernovas. Human vessel, Veltar's image appeared on the Indomitable's main screen. You have fought well, but this ends now. I am activating the Star Killer weapon. In 60 seconds, your sun will become a supernova. Your entire solar system will be destroyed. The bridge fell silent. Even with all their advanced technology, the crew had never imagined a weapon that could destroy stars. Is he bluffing? Commander Deho asked quietly. Hana's voice was grim. Negative. I am detecting massive energy readings from the alien flagship. The weapon appears to be real. Dr. Choi Soman's voice came over the communication system from engineering. Captain, there might be a way to stop it. If we can create a controlled singularity inside their ship, it could contain the weapon's energy. How? Minho asked. We use our own power core. Overload the singularity drive and teleport it directly into their flagship. The resulting black hole would consume their weapon and their ship. Chief Engineer Jiwan understood immediately. That would destroy us too, wouldn't it? Not necessarily, Dr. Choi replied. If we time it perfectly and use the quantum displacement drive, we might be able to escape. Minho looked at his crew. After everything they had been through, they were facing the ultimate choice. They could save Earth and humanity, but only by risking their own lives one final time. How long do we have? He asked. 30 seconds until the Star Killer fires, Hana reported. There was no time for discussion or voting. Minho made the decision that every captain dreads. Do it, he ordered. Overload the power core and prepare for singularity teleportation. The ship's energy levels spiked beyond anything they had experienced. Control panels exploded throughout the vessel. The hull began to glow white-hot as the singularity core prepared to collapse. 20 seconds, Hana announced. Teleportation coordinates locked on enemy flagship. Chief Engineer Jiwan reported. All crew, brace for singularity discharge, Minho ordered. 10 seconds, Hana said. Teleportation in 3, 2, 1. Deploy! The overloaded singularity core vanished from the Indomitable and appeared inside War Master Veltar's flagship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the alien ship began to collapse in on itself. The artificial black hole consumed the Star Killer weapon, the ship's structure, and everything within a kilometer radius. The massive flagship simply disappeared, leaving only a small dark sphere in space. But the Indomitable was caught in the gravitational field. The ship was being pulled toward the black hole. Emergency jump, Minho shouted. Maximum quantum displacement now. The ship's quantum drive fired at full power. Space twisted around the Indomitable as it tried to escape the artificial singularity's pull. For a terrifying moment, the ship seemed frozen between dimensions. Then suddenly they were free. The TFS Indomitable appeared several thousand kilometers away from the collapsing alien formation. The crew cheered as they realized they had survived. Status report, Minho called out once the cheering stopped. The alien flagship is completely destroyed, Commander Deho reported. The remaining enemy vessels are... Sir, they're surrendering. On the main screen, they could see alien ships powering down their weapons and sending surrender signals. Without their War Master and his flagship, The Catherian fleet had lost the will to fight. Petty Officer Hyunwoo. "Open a channel to Earth Command," Minho ordered. Admiral Kim Tae-hyun's face appeared on the screen. The old admiral had tears in his eyes. "Captain Lee, is it over?" "The Grand Armada has surrendered, sir. Earth is safe. How many ships did you destroy?" Minho looked at his tactical display one final time. 437 enemy vessels destroyed, sir. 63 alien ships surrendering. The rest retreated beyond the solar system. The admiral shook his head in amazement. 1 ship against 700 enemies. "Captain, you and your crew have just won the most important battle in human history." Over the next several hours, the surviving Catherian ships were escorted to prison stations around Jupiter. The aliens would be studied and eventually returned to their own space with a message. Earth was not as helpless as they had thought. Dr. Choi So-min met with Captain Minho in his quarters after the battle. "Captain, the military leaders who canceled my prototype program want to meet with me tomorrow. They want to build more ships like the Indomitable. What will you tell them?" Dr. Choi smiled. "I'll tell them that humans don't need to copy alien technology to be powerful. We just need to trust our own creativity and courage." 6 months later, Admiral Lee Minho stood on the bridge of the fully repaired TFS Indomitable. His promotion had been immediate and unanimous. The hero of Earth deserved nothing less. Chief Engineer Ji-won had been promoted to lead the new prototype fleet program. Sergeant Major Minji now commanded the Indomitable Marines, an elite unit specializing in teleportation assault tactics. Commander Daeho had his own ship now, based on the Indomitable's design but with improvements. Dr. Shin Yuna published research papers about human-alien combat medicine that revolutionized battlefield treatment. Petty Officer Hyunwoo became the head of alien communication decryption. Chief Petty Officer Seong-min led teams that were building new adaptive weapon systems. But the most important change was in humanity itself. The victory over the Grand Armada had shown humans that they could achieve impossible things when they worked together and trusted their own abilities. "Admiral," Hana's voice filled the bridge. "Long-range sensors are detecting 3 new alien fleets approaching human space. They appear to be from different species than the Catherians." Minho smiled. "How many ships?" "Approximately 1,500 vessels total, sir. But they are maintaining defensive formations and sending diplomatic signals. They want to talk instead of fight," Commander Park realized. Park was Daeho's replacement as tactical officer. "The galaxy has heard about our victory," Minho said. "Other species want to know what humans are capable of." Dr. Choi's voice came over the communication system from her laboratory. "Admiral, the new prototype ships will be ready for testing next week. We've incorporated everything we learned from the Grand Armada battle." "How many ships?" 50 vessels, sir. Each one as powerful as the Indomitable, but with specialized roles. Explorers, diplomats, researchers, and defenders." Minho looked out at the stars through the bridge windows. Humanity was no longer the weak species that alien empires could conquer easily. They had proven that human creativity, determination, and courage could overcome any challenge. "Hana, set course for the approaching alien fleets," Minho ordered. "But keep weapons powered down. Let's see if we can make friends instead of enemies." "Course laid in, Admiral." "Shall I send a greeting message?" "Yes. Tell them that humanity is ready to meet its neighbors as equals." As the TFS Indomitable moved toward the unknown alien ships, Minho felt proud of what his species had accomplished. They had started as a small, isolated civilization. Now they were becoming a major power in the galaxy. But the most important lesson from their victory was simple. Humans were at their best when facing impossible odds. The TFS Indomitable and her crew had proved that one human ship, crewed by people who refused to give up, could change the course of history. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again, and Earth would never be defenseless again. The age of human expansion among the stars had begun, led by the ship that had saved their homeworld. The TFS Indomitable sailed toward the future, ready for whatever challenges waited among the stars. Behind them, Earth glowed blue and green in the darkness, safe and free because of their sacrifice and courage. The war was over. The peace had begun, and humanity had taken its place among the greatest civilizations in the galaxy.